Hi everybody, Jessie here from jessiebanks.com and welcome back to another video. So for today's video I have stamped out the Party Like a Pirate stamp set, all of the images out of the set that are colorable. There's two little birds that are just like line art, so I didn't stamp those obviously. Onto Copic Express It blending card using Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm going to go through and color the whole set with you. I did one of these not too long ago. I think I did Down on the Farm Friends. I can't remember the name of the set. Anyway, I will put it, if I remember, up in the cards and link it here for you guys. But I did that one where I colored the entire set. And then in 2 days, I posted one card one day and one card the other and linked the video on both so that you guys could see what I made with the images once I was finished coloring them. So I'm going to do a very similar thing here. I'm just going to go through and color all of these guys up. I use slightly different skin tones on all of them, but they're virtually very similar, just darker or lighter than the previous ones. And I did keep this entire set to a fairly limited color palette. Like I used the same red all the way through, and I used the same gray, and I used the same blue and things of that nature, just so that when I built my cards and everything was very, very cohesive and looked like it was meant to be together. So I really love this set. I've bought pirate sets from everybody already. I've been on a pirate kick and my son thinks it's the best thing ever. So for the second skin tone here, I'm going in with E04 as my darkest color. And I haven't used that as my darkest color in a very long time. I was sick of it. The marker argued with me all the time. And now it's working again and I really enjoyed it. So I'll probably work it back into my skin tone rotations, just not use it on every single one. It's been kind of fun to have at least slight variations on my lighter skin tones. So we're going to go through it and get his skin colored up. And I did this kind of throughout the whole thing. I either worked with an entire color or I did an entire thing. Like I'm doing all of their skin tones first. And then I went through and I did like a whole bunch of the red. And then I did another section where I did the rest of the red on the images. It was really just kind of I didn't color one pirate then the next pirate. So I jump all over the place. That's why I didn't zoom in at all on the images, and I think a couple of times I'm off screen, but what do you do? So I kept her skin tone really light using E11 as my darkest color so that she was very, very fair skinned compared to the two little boys. And we'll get her all colored in. I do add a little bit of definition to them, like a little bit of shading where their wrist is and things of that nature. That's just the way I color. I like to add lots of detail to my coloring. So it's really hard to break that habit. I didn't add any rosy cheeks on her or anything of that sort. I just felt like the image didn't need it. They were pirates. She's not wearing blush or anything of that nature. So I just went in with that E000 and went over it all without adding any blush. Now I'm going to start on the pants here, and I'm going in with E79 as my darkest color. I love the E70 range of markers. This purpley, gray, brown color is beautiful. I really, really like it. So as with everything, I'm working darkest to lightest so that I do accomplish nice transitions and smooth blending between my colors without having to go over everything twice because I'm lazy and don't want to. And I find that when I use my Copic paper, I don't need to. Once in a while, a few colors, or if I'm coloring really slow, I'll have to. But normally I don't have to put a second coat of color on in order to get a nice blend. I do find, however, if I color on Nina or something of that nature, I do have to do a second coat, or I go in with my lightest color just to get the paper saturated and wet, and then everything blends better on it. So it all depends on what paper you're using and how you've learned how to color. But you can see how like I did his pants and the next guy's little boots. So I'm kind of working in colors all the time to use them a bit. So I'm going to do his boots, this guy's little belt that holds his sword, and her shoes. So I used E37 as my darkest, and then I jump in with E99, and I'm going to use 99, 97, 95, and I think I used 93 in it. We'll find out when we get there. So I did get somebody asked me to do the otter set, and that is next on the list. I'm hoping to get that recorded this week before I leave for the weekend, but I don't know. It's Wednesday already when I'm recording the voiceover for this, and I leave Friday, so that gives me tomorrow. So we'll see how I get on with that. But if not, there's always the week after. So now I'm going to do the treasure chest, and I'm still using that same color. I'm still starting out with that E37, and then I'm going to go to E99. I just wasn't sure if I was going to do the centerpieces or the area around it or what, or how I was going to do it. So I'm doing that on the sand and on the tree and the main part of the boat here. So you can see how I'm just kind of carrying those colors through onto the other images in the set. Oh, and the post on for his pirate flag here. And then we'll do E99 and go right over top of that darkest color and slowly blend everything out. I did speed this up to 3 times its original speed. I have been thinking about putting things on my Patreon and maybe actually using it. And when I do things like this, putting the full real speed videos up there for like $2 a month or something like that, just so that they're there if somebody actually wants to sit and watch me color all the pirates for an hour, or you want to, find a specific thing like the little girl pirate or the guy with the sword in the air or whatever that you want to see colored slower. You could go over there and purchase the subscription for $2 or $3 a month or whatever, and be able to watch it at real-time speed. But I haven't made any finalized decisions on that or really focused on my Patreon, so I think I'm going to kind of sit down and plan that out coming up here and maybe start putting stuff there. So now I'm putting this gray on his sword and the coins and the skulls. All are going to go these gray colors, or this gray color. So I'm using my cool grays, so C5, C3, C1, and C0. Oh, and I did it on her little, I don't know what those are called. It's not a telescope. A telescope lets you see into outer space, but her little thingy for seeing off in the distance. Somebody will tell me in the comment section, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I knew that. Just had a moment. What can I say? So I did order a whole bunch of the new MFT release, so be prepared because I have lots of videos to do. My goodness. I need to color up what I have, and every month they release, and I'm like, I'm not going to buy this month, and then I see the release, and I'm like, dang, I'm going to buy it all. I don't buy it all, but I spend my limit, and it's very difficult to stay at my limit. So C0, just to blend the rest of that out. And now I'm going back in with the E70 series, and I'm going to do his pirate hat, except for the brim. The brim I'm going to make red when I go into my red combos. And I decided to do the background of the flag with the E70s too. I was going to do it black, and I decided that I wasn't going to use any black anywhere else on the image, or on any of the images, so I didn't want to just use black in that one place. So I decided that the E70s were dark enough and that would work. So that's what I did. And that was my printer you heard in the background. I don't know what it's doing. The toner's moving around, I guess. So E74. And I'm just trying to work fast enough that my ink doesn't completely dry so that I get a nice smooth blend. So you could always do like his hat and then do the flag separately instead of working on both at the same time. I just find that I know roughly how much I can do without having an issue with my ink drying. Now I'm going to go into my reds here. So I start with R29 is my darkest red. And then I'm going to jump to an R08. I wanted a nice bright, like apple candied, orangey-ish red as opposed to a real rich deep red. So that's why I used this as my darkest color, and then I jumped into that R08. So I did the stripes on his shirt, her belt, and her bandana with it. To start, I do add more red in after, but that's where we started. So I do add a couple of extra creases into her bandana, when I'm coloring that in, as well as her waist, like sash around her waist, just to make it look like it's creased and folded and a little more lifelike. Now we're doing R05, and my lightest color is R02. I didn't go any lighter than that, or I find it gets a little too washed out for it to still read as a brilliant red. This R02 just leaves me with a nice bright highlight, but it still looks red. Oops. Now I'm going in with my E40s, and I'm going to do her hair nice and light, so I'm not going to do strokes like I normally do in their hair. I'm just kind of doing a little bit of Copic blending just to give it a little bit of definition and variation in it, but I didn't go into too much detail. Just because there's so much detail everywhere else, I didn't need to try and make all the fine strokes on that little bit of hair. And now I'm going in with my blue, so I'm starting with B99 as my darkest color. I'm going to color his pants and hit the other guy's, the big guy's vest. B97. B95. And we're just going over everything and blending it out. I do think the top of that was supposed to be his boots, not a cuff on his pants, but I made it into a cuff on his pants and it works. So now I'm going in with some dark warm grays, and I'm going to do the flags of the ship. See, this is where I could have done that flag in my W's and made it look black, but I hadn't picked out black for those flags before I did it, so. And I'm going to do his hair with these colors, the big guy's hair, the larger pirate, pardon me, the big guy. The larger pirate's hair with these colors too, so it looks like he has a black gray type hair, just to put that color somewhere else in all of these images. And then once I get to my W5, that's where I'm going to start to put it into his clothes as well. So I'm going to do the rest of the stripes on his clothes and her little dress with the warm grays as well. I'm just not making them as dark. So now W3 and going over everything and blending that out. Her dress and his shirt. So if my hand gets in the way, both pirates get that gray on their shirts. Actually, the little guy's is lighter. I started with W3, I do believe. But it just shows how if you use more or less of those colors, or how dark you go, changes the entire look and how much of them you're using. Also on the bird's eyeball, I'm using them now. So you can see how I'm just picking up different pieces and working it all in so that it works out. And now we're going into our green, and I'm going to do the palm tree and his belt. And I'm starting with YG99, and I'm also doing the little guy's bandana. See, I missed that. So the small pirate's bandana as well. And then YG97. And I'm just going to follow through this entire series of markers, going over everything and blending it out. And this is where I had the image too high and you don't get to see me blend everything. But that's alright. It's the same process on those leaves as it is on his bandana and everything else. I'm just going over tops, so. And then 93 to fill the rest in. And everything's starting to take shape. We're getting close to the end now. So I'm going to do the grass in a brighter green, and also part of the parrot, the main body and the middle feather on his tail. And I'm starting with YG17, and then I'm going into 13 and finishing it off with 11. And then I decided that I wanted to do his shirt with those colors as well, so I'm going to go in and do that also. I wasn't going to give him a green shirt because I gave him a green bandana, but the other guy had the red shirt, and I didn't want to pull in another set of markers because I didn't have enough areas to put it for it to work, so I just went with green. I'm going to do those additional areas on the boat with the E29, E20, E37. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'm also doing the handles of the little guy's swords with the same combo, and his hair. E35, so I just used E29 as my darkest. That's because I don't have E39. That's why. Okay, all makes sense now. E33. And there's that. Now we're going to go in and do the little bolt on the chest and the locking mechanism, the beak on the bird, as well as the little half feathers and his feet in yellow. So Y17, Y15, Y13, and Y11 is my lightest. And then we'll go in and do our last little bit of red, and we're coming to the end. So if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, I would definitely love you to subscribe. Share the video with a friend if you have anybody that would like it. A thumbs up helps me way more than you could possibly imagine. So those are always like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate everybody. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this. We're just going to finish up our red, and then I'll run through the rest of the images with you, or run through the colored images with you once they're all colored out. So I did do the bird and also that the flags on the very top of the boat. And then I come in with a little bit of blue just for the center of the portholes on the boat, as well as the glass piece of her knot telescope. But I don't know what it is. Alright, so now we've got the entire thing colored up. I am going to lay them out on the stamp set here for you guys so you can see them all one last time. I do have it on an angle just so it fits in the screen a little bit better. Let's go through the sentiments first. Here we've got, you're the captain of my heart, you're a treasure, party like a pirate, you are amazing, ahoy matey, and you're great. So, of course, I didn't color in the two little birds, but the rest of the images in the set I have. There are a couple of little coin piles here. I could have done them gold. I went with silver. I tried to keep my color palette kind of simple and use the same colors all over the place. So here's the little girl with her, I don't know what those are called. It's not a telescope, but. And the little guy here with his flag. And the sailboat. There, that one is. Then there is our treasure chest. The skull and crossbones. The island with the palm tree. Our cute little bird. And one last pirate. So that is the entire Party Like a Pirate set, completely colored up. I hope you guys really enjoy these videos. I do have more of them coming. The first one I put up got really great reviews, so definitely leave me a comment if you like these. I will do them with other companies coming up as well, not just MFT, although I have an obsession with MFT because they are fantastic. But we will be doing them, like I said, I'll be doing them with other companies and things of that nature. Definitely pop on over to my blog. There will be all of these images used up on cards over there. Yeah. Give me a big thumbs up if you like them. It helps my channel so much, you have no idea. If you aren't a subscriber, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.